Hey guys, welcome to the Django Rest Framework tutorial. In this video, I'm going to talk about Django Rest Framework Mixins. So first we need to understand what are the mixins, how to use it, and what are the types of CRUD operations we can use it in the mixins. Okay, so let me talk about first what is the mixins. Generally, the mixins concepts we use into the object-oriented programming. So where we can refer to the generally multiple inheritance concept. Okay, so as we know that Java and C# does not support the multiple inheritance, but it comes to the Python supports the multiple inheritance by using the MRO principles. We can use it, and there are other languages also supports the multiple inheritance. The point is very clear here. When you're going to talk about the mixins, we can say like this: the mixins are a language concept that allows the programmer to inject some code into the class. So in other words, we can say the mixing is something like a programming style, which is part of software development, and in which units of functionality are created in the class, then mixed in the other classes. And also one more important thing is mixins are sometimes described as being included rather than inherited. Okay, and so when I'm going to use these mixins, definitely I use the classes rather than using the functions, right? Because it is object-oriented programming. This always supports the OOPS concepts, right? Okay, and moving to the next, you can see on my slide there is different languages are supporting the mixins. This information I have taken from the Wikipedia, and here we can see that there is a Kotlin and Perl, PHP, Python, and Ruby, Swift, many languages which are supporting basically mixins. Of course, these are all like actually uses the object-oriented programming, right? So coming to the next one, so what is the definition of the mixin? So mixin definition is a class that contains the methods for use by other classes without having to be the parent of those other classes. So assume that you have mixins into the like two different classes. We can use those methods into the any class which you inherited, and multiple classes we can inherit it at a time as well. So that's where like multiple inheritance comes into the picture, right? So mixins, which is related to the object-oriented programming, where we use the class, no functions here. So definitely the mixins we are using into the class-based views. Okay, as simple as. And coming to the point here, and as we earlier seen that APIView, which is a decorator, we are using it the function-based views, and APIView, which is the class-based view, which we already spoken so far. And now we are going to use something called generic APIView. And generic APIView is a subclass of APIView. APIView is a superclass, a parent class, and we are going to use the generic APIView for the mixins. Okay, so we'll see that what are the classes we are going to inherit it in the programming. We'll get more idea about it. Before going to start the programming, so I'm going to show you the walkthrough of Django Rest Framework website. If you go to the API guide, so under that there is something called generic views. You just click on that, and it will take you to that respective page. So you see that left side there is a list model mixin, create model mixin, retrieval, update, destroy. This is nothing but CRUD operations, right? You are listing the data and creating and update and destroy. But there is something difference is there respect to the list model mixin and retrieve model mixin. So list model mixin will show all the list of products which are there in the table. So in our case, we have all the mobiles. All mobiles information will show in the list model mixin. But if it comes to the retrieval model mixin, only specific model information can be shown. So this is nothing but detailed information. List model is all list of products, and the rest are is same. If you want to create any product and create model mixin, if you want to update the product information, we can use update model mixin, and destroy is nothing but delete. And I'm going to take you something about API reference at the generic API view, which is generic API view, which is very important. Okay, so so what is the use of this generic API view? So you see here, this class is extended the REST frameworks API view. So in previous sessions, we have seen that inheriting the API view. Now we are going to use the generic API view going forward, and this generic API view is a subclass of API view. And what we can do, right? So basically, we use this generic API view with any one of the mixin classes. So this is how. So first we need to understand the generic API view. Then we have to go to the mixins. So very simple. When you are going to do any CRUD operations on the Django Rest Framework, so you have to go and use the generic API view plus any one of the mixin which you can use it here, right? So that same thing which we are going to implement here. For example, if I go and click on this list model mixin, and you see that when you are going to implement the list model mixin, first you inherit this class, then you write list overridden method. Simple way, like create model mixin, again overridden this, and retrieval model mixin, you can overridden the retrieve method. So every class when you are going to inherit, especially these mixin classes, we need to override this respect to methods. Okay, so update method also we need to. So for destroy, it is a destroy only. So I'm going to do the same thing now in programming. You'll get more idea about this. So what is I'm going to say that here, when you are going to implement the mixins, we are going to use the combination with generic API view, and we'll see that all pros and cons, and also how we can face the different kind of issues when you're removing something and when you're not overridden the method, what kind of issues we are going to see it in shortly. I started the server, and you can see on my screen, so already I've opened this URLs, and also I'm showing now Django administration. So to later we are going to update these products, update or delete whatever actions we do, all CRUD operations which we are going to perform now. So to begin with this code, so first we need to go and create a view, and that view must be called from the URLs. So I am just directly going to now views. So just click on the views. So in the previously we have done something like, okay, so in previous we already done this like detailed view and list view based on the API view class. Now I'm going to use the generics. So as part of generics, already I imported these two REST framework import mixins. You have to import first from REST framework import mixins, from REST framework import generics. So what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to take my own class. I'm going to create my own class name is here, like say that list products mixin. So to make you more understanding here, I'm giving the direct names, but you can change it also. So list products and mixins. Okay, but this is just for understanding purpose I'm giving it. So once you started going with this way, generally after that, so list product mixins. After that, what we can do, we have to go and add the mixins here. So what I will do, right? Okay, simple way, and mixins dot and the list. I want to display all the list of products, right? So list products, and I have to use something like generics dot, and this is a generic API. So this is where like we can call it as the multiple inheritance. You see that there is a two classes we are using. One is from the mixins, another one is the generics. So you are like implementing the behavior of it here. And I'm going to do something like I'm going to override the get method. That's what, right, we have seen the in the documentation. So when you're using the something called list model mixin, we need to use the get method. And of course here the first parameter is the self, as it is a like instance method, and the next parameter is the request. Okay, and after that we use the args, that is a variable length arguments, are like keyword arguments which we can use. So kwargs. Okay, so as simple as. So after that, what we'll do, right, we are going to return the data to send the data back to the, once user is requested, that's the request object we take, and we need to send the request back, right? So we need to return basically. So self dot, and what we can use, we can say that retrieve method or get method. So let me use the get method here. We'll see that how things goes now. So this get method, first parameter is always request, and second parameter is like star args and star star kwargs, right? Simple. This is how I've written. Now I'm going to call this list product mixins. And remember here I am not included something like query set and serialize class. We'll see that what kind of exceptions we are going to face. Then after that, I will write a query here, model query. So without using the model query, how the data can come here. I'm not use the model query, right? So we'll see that what kind of exceptions we are going to get it now. And the URLs, I'm going to call this. Let me copy this products mixins. I'm going to now in this, I'm just going to add the path. So path of, and we can write here, this is a mixin path. So mixin path and okay. So just for understanding, I'm giving this path name, but you can change it later also. Now the views dot, and we can use the class name dot as view. Okay. So next name is, as of now, name is not make big difference. I'm just going to add MP. MP stands for mixin path. You can change it whatever the name you can give. Okay, so I'm done with this adding the paths. Now I'm straight away go to this browser, and I'm just going to enter here. See that there is a new path which is got added. What I'm going to do, right, I'm going to give this path and just you enter. So I'm just going to enter, and it's giving something like page not found. So we'll see now what is this page not found. Is it the mixin path I've given and did not match any one of this? So it is okay. So I'm going back to check mixin path. Okay, it's because of I'm not given the forward slash. Okay, that's my bad. I'll go back again. I'm going to enter now. You see that there will be an exception here. So maximum request depth is exceeded. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right? Okay, and we'll see now there is two things which we are going to focus now. So instead of giving this self.get, what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to change it to the list also. So actually basically it is a list method, but I've given the get. Now I'll go back to the again Microsoft Edge, which is a browser name, and you see that this is the correct way of implementation. So what is a mistake which I have done previously? It's not mistake intentionally I have did. I want to make you understand here. When you are using the get method, you need to use the list method, okay, to return it. So you just three combinations here: list model mixin and get method, and you are returning the list data. This is the combination you need to go. And when you see the exception here, we are not getting the, it's saying that query set is not written. So I'm going to add the query set here. Query set is not a big deal, but remember that you have to use the same name. So here instead of query set, if you use your name or like any customizer name, it won't work. Okay, so we have to use the exact query set only. So product dot objects dot and all is the function. So I'm going to use it here. And what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to use the serializer class. So serializer class, which is a predefined, what I can say, the variable name, we have to give the same name, and we need to point to the product serializer, as simple as. So in previously, you've seen that many things we have written. We are sending the object and data and everything. Previously, in the sense when you use the API view, but when it comes to the mixins, we are simply query set, serialize class, and get. And get means we are getting all the products here. That list we are returning here. So what we are going to do, right? I'm going to check now the data which is showing or not. When I go and refresh the screen, so let it take time. So refreshing it now, you see that all the list of products which is showing now, and you see that list products mixin. So whatever the function name you give, so here function name, sorry, whatever the class name you give, same class name which is like list products and mixin, same name is coming here with spaces, because there is a different words are there, list products and mixins. Okay, now this is something like retrieval. Okay, I mean it's not retrieval, it's a kind of retrieving the data. And the CRUD operations nothing but read the data. So we are talking about R. Now let's go to the other types of CRUD operations which we can perform now. So now let me go and write a different class for the detailed view. So I can say that detailed, so it's a class, right? Generalize starts with uppercase letters as for naming conventions. So detailed products mixins. Okay, our detailed product, right? Not products here, it's a product. So detailed product mixins, and I'm just giving the name here the mixins dot. So here I will do the different operations. Example, get one product information, post one product information, and update one product information, delete one product. So deleting one product, updating one product, like that. Okay, so basically we are specifically doing the one product here, and this is nothing but list all the product information we are trying to retrieve here. That's the differences. Now the mixins dot, I'm going to write everything here, right? So for example, I want to write retrieve model mixin. So retrieve model mixin is especially for one model. Okay, I mean to say that one product information basically, right? So I'm going to use the generics here. So as we already used the generics dot generic API same way. So generics dot generic API. So we can write n number of classes. As I said, Mixins concepts is going to help in Python. It supports the multiple inheritance. If you want to understand the object-oriented programming, already I created one video. So I will give that video in the video description, and you can check out that. So now going to this, the mixins dot, and different classes we need to provide. For example, I want to update the content, update model mixin. If I want to do something like create, so if you want to create model mixin. If I want to destroy, and I can use the mixins dot, so simple dot destroy, right? These are the various CRUD operations we can do. This is for retrieving one product, update one product, create one product, destroy one product. So that is the combinations basically we are using. So it's a class, we have to go and write. Now we are going to use the same query set, so let it be. So query set is same, and serialize class is also same. So there is nothing is going to change in this case. But the only thing is that, okay, so previously for list model mixin we use the get and list, and at the same time now retrieval model mixin. So what we are going to do, right? So it is a get only. So I'm just going to copy the same thing. Why we need to spend time on this, right? So def, it's a function, it is an instance method, and get self request star args and kw args. It's nothing but keyword arguments, and after that we can use the same return statement also here. So give the return statement. Instead of list, we are going to say that retrieve. Of course, when you type here, automatically you can see that retrieve here. Okay, and we are done with the get. So let me go and call this method, and after that call this class, and after that we can use the different CRUD operations in the same class. Okay, so I'm going to now the URLs, because since we are talking about very specific here, so I'm going to use the path, and inside the path we can use that. So detailed mixin, or okay, detailed mixin. So we can say the R like one product mixin, right? So we can give any name. This is just URL path only. So that's not a big deal. So just give the path here, and after that views, and views dot give this detailed product mixins dot as view, right? So we are calling the class based view, so that's the reason. And name is equal to your MDP. So model detail, or like we can say mixin detail product. Any name is fine, because we are not using the name here, right? So absolutely fine. So product mixin, and this is how we can define the text. So what I'm going to do, right, I want to access this. So first of all, let me go to the browser here. So I don't want to be in the mixin path. Let me go and enter first. Sorry, I'm going to the class path. Okay, just enter. There is a product mixin and mixin path. So I'm going to enter your product mixin. Just see. And there is a character view detailed product mixin to be called with URL. Of course, right? You can see there is a, because we are dealing with one specific product, so you need to pass the argument correctly. So after this, what we can do, right? So we are going to use URL passing the it's nothing but URL dispatcher. We are going to use the some ID we need to pass. Okay, or like some column we need to pass. So in this case, by default, it's a primary key, which is an integer int colon and pk. Okay, So I think this is done now. Give the forward slash. So we'll see now whether it works or not. And before that, I want to list out the values here. So before going to take this URL, and I want to show you that, okay, just enter. There is something called mixin path. So this mixin path, which I'm going to copy. So I will show you something. Then after that, we'll go to now. See that everywhere there is an ID. This ID only we need to provide after the path. Okay. This ID is nothing but primary key. PK is nothing but primary key. So ID is the primary key in this case. So I'm just going to give here, for example, anything we can take, for example, iPhone charger 5. So what I will do, right, I'm just going to enter here and use the product mixin. After that, product ID. So nothing but 5. So I'm just going to enter here. You see that respective product ID, but only you can see the get, right? But you are not seeing anything like put or post. So I want to first update this. I will go to the Visual Studio Code, and in our views, I'm going to add another one. So what I will do, right, I'll add one more function here. So it's nothing but a method. We can call it as in the object-oriented programming in the classes. So here, instead of get, I'm going to use the put, because this is update statement, and return, and of course it's not retrieve. Here it is update. So I'm just going to update. Rest of all is same only. Okay, same query set, same serializer class, but only thing is changing here is the calling the method, right? So we are overriding the method. It's completely inheritance and polymorphism concepts, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to the again now here browser and refresh. You see in the below there is a put, okay, which we can see it. If you want to update, okay, instead of charger, I can say that iPhone 11. I can say phone case. So you can write your phone case, something like this. I just want to update. This is not the charger. Okay, we can put it as the headphones. iPhone 11 headphones. Right. I'm just adding some text here. Just go and add this. Click on this port, and you can see this iPhone 11 headphones is added. And more important thing is, if you want to see the raw data, we can see in the JSON format. If you want to see into the HTML form also, we can see. So put is that just updating the data. For example, I want to create something. Just you can go and use the same statement, same same code which I'm copying here and changing the method name. So I want to post. Post is nothing but creating. So update, which will change it to the create now. So everything is same. So I will go back to the again so screen. And before that, you need to refresh it, otherwise it won't work. And I'm just refreshing here, and you see that there is a post also here. For example, if I want to post something ID, we can post. For example, 900, and the name here 45. Sorry, some name I will give here, the MacBook. So I'm just referring to your cost is 200 or 3000, whatever it is. So we can give the date here. So is there any way like we can give any date? Just drop down key and you give that this is a test Mac, and instead of mobile phone, okay, there is no. Okay, I want to create a product here. If you want to create a product, you can create product category. We have the product categories here. I'm going to create like laptop. So let me create here, and its the category is okay, we can say 10 and save this. That's not a big deal. So I don't think so it will come by default. We have to refresh the screen, and no problem, we'll refresh it here and write 9000, and name is the Mac Book Pro, and the cost is like $2000 or something example, and description is like a test, and the date here something like 26, and mobile phone, instead of mobile phone I will use the laptop. Now it is showing now, so just click on the post. So you see that there is ID 15 and 900 MacBook Pro which is created. If you want to change
2 o'clock.
If you want to change the data, you can change it. That's where. If you want to, now you can see that is created. If you want to change the data, you can change it. So something like that, it works very well, right? So, and this is how the detailed. We are seeing the get, we are seeing the post, we are seeing the put, and last one is the delete or destroy. So I'm just going to copy this entire code here and the below, and we'll see now how it works. So instead of post, what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to use the delete here. So delete, we'll see that whether it works. Okay, delete, yeah. and instead of create and you say that destroy. So as simple as, I'm just increasing the, so destroy, and now this is a perfect now, right? So what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to the again now the URL, and so you can refresh because same data is entered here, and that's fine. You can see there is a delete button. If you want to delete here, you just say that if you want to delete, it will delete. So there's something like that. You need to be very be careful now how you when you are deleting the data. So we are seeing all the CRUD operations here, listing all the data, deleting one product and getting one product information, posting one, putting one data, everything which we are able to see it in the with respect to the this mixins. So previously we used the like a lot of get and put, a lot of code we have written, but when it comes to the mixins, it is easy. Your job is easy. Don't need to write too much of code, and you just inherit and you do it. But the only thing is you have to remember in the URLs we need to pass the specific primary key. Then only that value will be deleted. Hope you understand these concepts. If anybody having any questions, please write your questions in the comment box. I will try to help you. And one more important thing is that in the next session, I will come up with the generics API view, CRUD operations, and after the sessions, I will talk about the differences between the both generic views, and this mixins will get more clarity. Okay. Hope you are liking this content. Let me know if you have any questions or something. I would really happy to help you. Thank you.